Hello.
A
Maybe
few
you're
others along the
muted.
way. Apparently we're muted.
You are muted. No, everyone is muted.
Oh, is everybody muted?
I
think
actually
so.
don't know.
No,
No,
we're
just
good.
Erik.
We're good.
Huh.
It was just Erik. So, welcome everybody to the show on the 10th of August, 2024. It's going to be a bit of a somber show, but I'm sure we'll find moments of comedy, moments of sort of laughter and such stuff like that throughout the show. But as you probably may notice from the title, we have lost a very well respected member of the Imperium this week.
Not just the Imperium, the entire
of the game.
The entire game community. We lost Noms to a battle with cancer earlier this week. He'd been fighting like a champion for the last year or so.
Yeah, an absolute trooper.
He lost that fight. Noms was, as pointed out in Twitch chat, not just one of our Imperium directors for a very long time. He was an OG EVE player, an EVE lifer, there from the beta pre-2003. Served on the CSM 6 times over the course of his career, and was just an all-round incredible guy.
Yeah, very much so.
We are very much lesser for having lost him.
I was kind of wondering whether we should do a bit of a précis of his I don't know how you like life in the game. Like I was going to say career, but it's more like a life, right? Like his life in the game. Like for people who may watch this and not know, quite who he was, or which part of the games he touched, that kind of thing. Might be a nice idea. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
It sounds great.
I mean, where do you start?
Well, from the beginning, proceed to the middle, and get to the end. I guess that sort of thing.
In the beginning,
That's normally how.
delicate time.
In the beginning, yeah. In the beginning, someone had this crazy idea that a whole bunch of people, swarming some, bunch of elite dickheads may actually work in the game like this. I don't know quite when Innominate came into Goonswarm as such. Like, I tangentially been a part of Imperium and fought alongside. I both fought alongside and fought against Goons. So
2006.
06. Okay.
Obviously, kind of before that, the Goon presence in the game wasn't necessarily a unified experience. I think it's probably fair to say that everybody kind of knows that Goons came out of the Something Awful forums as a game to play together.
Oh yeah.
At the time. And yeah, so when you go back into Nom's Eve Who history, his character in game actually doesn't have an official starting date.
Oh really?
Because he was playing in the beta, the pre-launch phase, and so like his character was created then and then moved over into the main game.
Oh yeah.
When CCP launched it. So he's been playing Eve forever. Is kind of the sum of that one. But yeah, when the Something Awful guys decided to start playing Eve as a thing to do for fun, back in 2006, that's when Noms kind of came into the Goon Swarm era. It was Goon Platoon, and then it was Goon Fleet, and then obviously the Something Awful Corporation has been Goon Waffer for a lot of years.
Yeah, the longest
you know,
time.
the stories of the cartoon era and
Oh,
Darius
God.
Johnson's bits and pieces, and why it became Goon Waffer instead of Goon Fleet or what have you, are out there, and I've been kind of covered a lot of times over. But yeah, so he was then in Goons, and he was a director. He ran our IT support, our IT services for a lot of years, as well as being the director of blue shooting. You know, he was the guy who, if somebody came and shot you, you would go and have a conversation with Noms, and he would figure it out for a lot of years. And then yeah,
Same way.
back in
Same for our internal affairs. He also did that for a long time.
yeah,
He's
Like
back in
touched so many facets of, like, you know, of Goon Swarm.
like counter spying and like basically, if you did anything in Goons, sooner or later you would run into Noms.
yeah,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I
any
was.
space jobs whatsoever would cross into his realm eventually.
I think, strangely enough, I think I must have remained, like, possibly just like 1 degree of separation out each time. Like, I was in the Sky Marshal team for Intel coordination and gathering when I was in Razor, right? And obviously, I reported to a fair few people and stuff like that. And one of the people who I reported to was obviously Kilgarth, and probably beyond Kilgarth was Innominate, like in the back, like doing things in the background. So, like, it was
Golgoth
always a
and
case
Noms
of,
kind of worked in separate areas, but very much doing the same sorts of things.
yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily say that one was higher than the other in terms of their organization role, but they
Okay.
worked together on a lot of projects, including our IT setup, which they kind of made very, very robust over the
Yeah.
course of the sort of late 2010s when things were happening.
Mm.
I want to thank Stavlor as well for these redemptions.
I love it.
This is
Yeah.
yeah, it's really, really cool.
That's actually a cool thing. Yeah, for sure. Nice.
And thank you to anybody who's following, who is new to the show, perhaps.
Mhm.
We do appreciate it all.
Yeah, I actually remember the first time I met Nom Nom. It was actually the video we showed at the beginning, right? In a fleet with you, a lot of those pictures. I think 2017, 2018 E-Vegas. I forget which one it was. When I met him, and I met him in the bar. And he's like, "Nominate. I'm the guy you don't want to talk to in Eve from Goons."
Yeah.
I just looked at him and I said, "I'll always talk to you. Let's go have a shot." So yeah,
Nice.
I met, and shortly before that, I had met Shingley for the first time.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, it's good times.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of the thing that I I think it's probably going to be one of my biggest regrets of my Eve career is that I never got to meet Noms in person, but I knew him for years, right? Like,
Mm.
or when I started as a diplomat back in 2017 for Goons, Noms was kind of around all the time. We play Cards Against Humanity and have drinks on a Friday night, and that has now become its own sort of thing. It would be that thing where space meetings are finished, we're gonna chill for the rest of the night on Saturdays as well, and just like I for a period of time as well, we were at the same company. I'm still there, but obviously, Noms is
Yeah,
not.
I'd heard several accounts of Innominate sort of introducing people to a what could be argued as being a much better like work environment for somebody, right?
Yeah,
Which is really cool.
I
Because
was
there's one thing of like giving people sort of responsibilities say in game, but then there's there's another kind of in terms of meeting up and being friends with them in real life, but there's that other level of actually giving them like real life responsibilities in joining the company that you work at, right? So
yeah. I
it's,
mean,
it's quite that's quite the leap.
it was kind of how he approached that, though, right? And how he taught others to approach it as well, which is
Yeah.
that bit of if you know somebody already in real life, through whatever, or just generally somebody well,
Yeah.
and that they have certain skills or they are reliable or what have you, why wouldn't you then also recommend them for stuff where they can kind of earn their wage at the same time if they're looking for a change, if they're looking for something new, right? Like,
Yeah, I can see
and
that.
it's one of those things that I think he taught a lot of us about Eve and about the wider thing is that you
Did we lose Dirk?
we're not no, I lost myself for a minute. I've been struggling to
Okay.
find the words for
It's all good, dude. It's all good.
a while during the week. But yeah, no, it's that bit of like, why wouldn't you trust them? And he taught us that he taught a lot of us that it's not just a game. It's not just stuff that we can pick up or drop at a moment's notice, right?
Yeah.
These are our lives. These are very
Yeah,
much
kind
our
of starts
friends
to
and the people we trust.
starts to break down that barrier of people just being a name on a screen kind of thing, right? Like starting to actually realize that people are human beings on the other end, right? And appreciate that kind of thing, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that's also kind of the reason why we started organizing our own meetups, right? Because we noticed that that was kind of missing after COVID. Actually
Yeah.
having the chance to meet these people and actually see them in real life, and that
Well, I think after COVID, like people realized that they were missing that, and they really needed to sort of make an extra effort in order to in order to bring that back into their lives kind of thing. But like Goons have been running like meets independent of Eve meets since before COVID easily. But it's good that it's good that the goons continue that, right? We are back. Sorry, there was a bit of an ad break there somewhere.
Yeah, there was. Yeah.
I thought my thingy went out there for a second. But yeah, aside from Innominate's like internal Goonswarm sort of stuff, one of the other things that he did, obviously, was he was a member of the CSM. I think that's probably where most goons, potentially non-Imperium kind of people would know him from, would be as a member of the CSM, which he, Jesus, how many times did he do? Was he in
6.
CSM? Like
Six,
six times?
Six
Oof.
times.
Yeah.
Noms did 6 terms. He is one of 3 record holders in terms of the number of terms that were served. The only 2 others who have managed to match 6 terms on the CSM are Fuzzy Steve Renukin,
Steve, and there was a one guy
and Mike
beforehand, right?
Azariah, who
Oh, Mike. Okay.
obviously I'm sure a lot of people will know Mike from his Magic School Bus efforts to kind of give new players a route into EVE. So yeah, the 3 of them are the longest serving CSMers in EVE history. And over the course of those years, right? Like Innominate, as long as my spreadsheet is correct, which I believe it is, Noms first served on the CSM in CSM 11.
Oh,
So
nice.
that would be back in like 2013, 2014, I think. And then served consistently CSM 12, CSM 13, CSM 14, CSM 15, and then CSM 16, which was just a couple of years ago. Yeah, that would have been 2021 into 2022 would have been CSM 16, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, over the course of those years, he touched a lot of areas of the game. Gave CCP a lot of feedback. Probably fed CCP a whole hell of a lot of drinks at the same time, right?
He probably did, yeah.
We'd been hoping that Mark Resurrectus, also known as now as CCP Jotun, would have been able to make it, and also Jintan, to kind of talk about their experiences with Noms on the CSM.
Well, Jotun's
bit.
kind of got a bit of an issue with the fact that his PC is in bits right now.
But yeah, we'll
is a
see
bit
if
of an issue.
they manage to
They
make
got
it
a
along.
phone? You can do Discord on the phone. What the hell?
Let's not do that. You guys got phones, haven't you? Like, bit.
And by the way, I apologize to the audience if you see me like messing with my glasses. If you look at them, it's they're actually broken.
Yeah, if you watched the show last week, Eric mentioned the fact that his glasses broke and he was using his backup ones, or the ones that are really terrible in some way, shape, or form. But like either way, yeah, you're using the broken ones at this particular point in time.
Yeah, it's a little less glare of the screen, right?
Yeah.
And I can't believe that the Gunner does not sell like spare parts for these. By the way, I ordered the exact same glasses in my new prescription. So weird. They don't sell.
Yeah, they don't. Oh, Jesus Christ!
No, I emailed support and said, "Sorry, we don't do that." I'm like, what? Huh?
How do you not do those? Christ!
I am confused. So, I'm reading. I'm kind of catch up in chat too.
Greg is asking what major game changers was Nom CSM for. CSM 11 was late 20. It was 2015, 2016 time. So when you talk about that period of the game, you're talking about the carrier changes. You're talking about the introduction of upwell structures, which we now use so incredibly frequently. You're talking about the Rorqual era and abundance, and then scarcity, and just basically, if something has changed in the last 8 years of EVE Online, chances are Noms has had some feedback on it in one way, shape, or form.
Either he's like tried to steer it in the right direction, or he's promoted it in some way, shape, or form to CCP to be something that needs to be changed for the better of the game.
And then sat back and laughed when CCP fucked it up.
Yes, he would definitely do that.
But he would have been telling them,
yeah, this is terrible. Don't do this. Even though he knew that CCP probably wouldn't listen, but
yeah.
I know, like CSM 11. So this is kind of this kind of speaks to why people love Nom so much, right? So back in CSM 11, one of the things that he championed quite a lot was high-sec war decks, because he felt it, like, in his words, he thought it was the most Eve mechanic that you can get, right? Like it was the mechanic, like a mechanic that very much signified what Eve is in some way, shape, or form. But he realized that essentially a lot of people in high sec were utilizing that mechanic to basically put downward pressure on people creating meaningful groups and social bonds. So he advocated some changes to the mechanics of war decks to relieve some of that pressure, right? It wasn't anything that really had anything to do with with goons or with nullsec groups in general, because goons didn't have any issue with strengthening bonds, creating bonds of friendship and of general camaraderie and goodwill and all that kind of stuff between other goons, because we could quite easily do that outside of high sec and null sec, in our own kind of space, and easily and quite effectively actively recruit people without having to go fly through high sec or do anything crazy in high sec in any way, shape, or form, right? So in that kind of sense, it goes a lot to show like his philanthropic nature of just wanting to help the game, right? And I think probably a few people here didn't realize that he pushed for changes to help relieve pressure on people in high sec to actually create groups and stuff like that, and instead of actually getting constantly beaten into the dirt by marauding groups of mercenaries and stuff like that in high sec. But yeah, that's one of the things that he did in as a member of the CSM, and it it's not like it was just a blasé passing sort of, thought process or something that he mentioned to CCP. Like he spent like three whole I mean, it wasn't the only thing that he did in the terms, but he spent 3 terms of the CSM pushing for CCP to change this, right? It wasn't something that was that had change or had movement on, for like 2 to 3 years till CCP finally got it into their head. They're like, you know what? There's an aspect of the game that they haven't looked at, that they haven't really considered, that is really putting downward pressure on, people coming into the game, making social connections and staying in the game rather than leaving the game and going to play something else because, quite clearly the game and the people in the game are too hostile, to for them to enjoy playing you online, right? And creating those social bonds. So it's like, even if you don't realize or know who Innominate was, especially in the intervening years after CSM, I think, what would it be? Was it CSM 11 that was actually changed? But it may have been like 13 or 14 that it was changed. But like,
Which change?
the high sec war deck changes that he pushed in the
Um,
CSM. Because he says that he said it started on CSM 11.
Yeah, I think that was slightly later. I think that was 2019 for war deck changes.
Yeah. So I mean, so if you're new to the game, anywhere around the 18 or 19, like 2018, 2019 era, like, may not realize that the game is better because, or like in general, for so many different people, especially people who started around that time, because of Innominate. But the game was affected very much in a positive way for you guys because of him, and he had no reason to do it other than wanting the game to be a better place for people, which is so in keeping, like so in keeping with his character. Yeah, everybody I know who's talked about Innominate has always said that, like, he's a very positive person, very very kind and generous kind of person. So, and
Always
I hope
willing
that,
to have a laugh too.
yeah, exactly. Always willing to have a laugh. Always willing to socialize. And I hope that there's more people in this game that are, getting out of their shells if they're more of a introvert as such, to be outwardly sociable and accepting of people. And he definitely promoted that, which is really cool. It's something we should all do. And saying that,
People
like,
in space, but when you find them outside in the real, just buy them a drink and have a chat.
yeah, like, we could be bitter rivals in game, but that doesn't mean that you can't, sit down, buy each other a drink, and talk about Eve, or not talk about Eve, just talk about like regular stuff. Like, it's totally cool. If you see a an Eve nerd, or somebody at an Eve meet that's looking a little bit kind of like, a little bit lonely, that kind of thing, just just go up, say hey, buy a drink. Can I get you a drink, etc., etc. Have you been to an Eve meet before? That kind of stuff, right? Just extend a hand. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, just have a chat about anything. Noms was a big Linux advocate. He'd spend hours just chatting about
Yeah.
different distros and why one is better than the other for whatever reason. I'm sure Erik is very aware of those bits of conversations.
No, never had one.
No,
Sarcasm.
you never talked. Just you. Oh, okay. I don't know.
I tried to be expressive in my facial expression to indicate the sarcasm, but apparently I failed. I'm not very good at what
I didn't have the cameras on.
I'm
sorry.
bad. Sorry.
I was just like, oh, I should probably check what's people have been chatting about and that kind of thing.
I have my favorite distro, but I will keep it to myself.
That's sensible.
It's because you're an Arch user, isn't it?
No.
He said that very much in a yes kind of way.
I will just say that my first installation of Linux probably took, I don't know, 23 3.5-inch high-density floppy disks and about 3 pages of mathematical calculation so that we didn't blow out the video card.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna have a unfortunately I think we're gonna have an ad break in like 15 seconds, but like
We are.
you know
Let's do that
we'll
later.
chat
Oh,
random
no,
stuff.
no.
A minute
Jesus.
minute 7.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll
Like-
still chat random things, but if you want to like not have ad breaks, then there's always the sub button as it were. But see you in a bit.
Well, you got 52 seconds before they
Or
go.
not. Oh, okay, fair enough.
It starts.
That's
in,
really
like,
weird. Like it.
I have the big green incoming ad break starts in 40
Yeah, I know.
seconds.
I had that literally there saying starting in 3, 2, 1, and then it just disappeared and didn't say a fucking thing. And it's like, Jesus Christ, Twitch, you can't even do that right. Fuck. Oh God.
Imminent ad break. Imminent ad break. Sykes got you.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how I feel right now. Like, God fucking damn it. You wouldn't get this with a properly developed system. Yay, nice. Thank you, Stanwell. Ah,
I just wish we could just see his little face just going up the screen the whole thing.
Wait, these are 40?
what?
40 bits.
40
Yep.
bits, yeah. Not 40
Oh.
I thought for a minute there were 40
Channel points,
channel
yeah.
points. Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to spam this all day.
yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly
if
what
it
I
was
thought.
channel points, we would not be having any breaks.
It would it
for
would just
that
be
one.
going 20, it would be going all day.
I have something like 112,000 channel points on INN at this point.
I
There's just never anything to use them for.
Need to figure out what we can use them on. Like any suggestions out there as to what you'd like to see, be like fantastic. You may wonder why I'm fucking face palming right now. It's just a case of like an ad break suddenly appeared out of nowhere for me, at least. Anyway, like with no kind of saying, oh, ad break's about to start. Like just oh, there's an ad break now. Like fucking god damn it.
Got you again.
I hope you guys have a shot glass ready.
I
Have what?
don't.
I do not.
Why-
I will need to
why
go
do
and
you-
sort one
For
out.
fuck's sake, we talked about this earlier.
I
What?
do
Hold
not
it.
own a shot glass.
Well, you're just
so,
gonna have to neck it then. Like
I'm gonna have to neck it. There's not that much left in the bottle, so
oh, that
I'm
works.
gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. Give me 2 seconds. Go get it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
Yeah.
grab a
Talking
glass. I'll
about
be
the
back in a
shot
minute.
glass. I missed that meeting. I missed that pre-show meeting.
I did. It
Is it-
was not
oh,
a
excuse
meeting.
me.
I think it was like an
Did you-
email. Like
Did you put it in the show notes?
What show
Yes,
notes?
yes, we put it in the show notes.
Okay. I'll be back.
The show, the show notes.
We
that
actually
we
had a
don't
meeting.
have.
We actually had a meeting yesterday where we were lighting
Oh no,
signers for a vigil.
there was a meeting, definitely. I really enjoyed Cards Against Humanity last night. That was fucking fantastic. I didn't realize how much I missed playing that game with you guys. It was cool.
Mm-hmm.
We all managed to
you
prove
missed
that we are degenerates.
Yes,
yeah,
we definitely.
You missed finding out repeatedly what kind of horrible people we all are.
I'm glad that I'm not the only horrible person in the room. That's the thing. the realization.
rolling back in.
Thank God, I'm not alone.
I have a fabulous Las Vegas shot glass.
I'm afraid I don't have a Las Vegas one, but I do have a Fleet Up one. So
yeah, and
that'll do.
Is this enough? Is this enough rum? Is that enough?
I mean, I think so.
Is the shot glass? Oh, that'll do. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll do, Eric.
Down in one. Down in.
Down. This will be, I think if Scythe were here and we offered him like $100, he'd probably drink the whole bottle.
Oh no, he would, because that's the kind of person he is. That's what he's like.
We may have witnessed that once.
Yes, he was too drunk to zombie. Was it too drunk?
Too drunk to zombie. Too drunk to zombie, baby. Yeah, the camera angle of him passed out on his bed was kind of funny.
Yeah.
You know what? God damn it! When you spill rum on your desk, do you like just go down and suck it up like cocaine, or do you wipe it up with a napkin?
Well, I mean, you shouldn't be taking cocaine orally, but like.
Well, yeah.
That depends. Actually,
I don't know.
Make sure that it's.
I thought it brightened your
into
teeth.
the gums properly.
Does it?
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't.
I have to.
I don't have experience in this, but I would imagine
Yeah, I have no experience either. I mean, but
I imagine you don't.
Yeah, you can get down there and lick it up like a cat.
I imagine you don't snort rum, like
lick it up like a cat.
In the
baby.
same way you don't lick cocaine up, like.
There we go.
These aren't suggestions, by the way.
Well,
this isn't a QA on how to best drug.
They are not. Look, if you get rum from me, it's gonna be good rum, right?
You think
rum is worth licking it up. Trust me.
What? This isn't good rum. This isn't good rum. What are you talking about?
Oh, it might be good rum. So lick it up.
Good one. Yeah,
it is.
I'm glad of that going. These aren't suggestions, but no, actually. Definitely are.
But actually, they.
It's one thing about having a leather top on your desk. Now it's just going to smell like rum forever.
Ooh, nice.
Okay.
That's overly a positive thing.
Yeah, I don't see
potentially good rum. Trust me, this is my new favorite rum, the Papa's Pilar in the sherry cask. It's good. I like it.
I wonder actually when it comes to sort of rum and trying out the some fabulous rum that Soth is probably going to bring to a meet at some point. Whether giving me a glass of rum, in the bottom, like a shot of rum or rum, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I just pour some Coke into it and drink it, what your face would be like?
Like good rum?
You would grab the Coke and you would get tackled.
Okay.
It beat me to death with that bottle of Coke.
We are talking really good rum.
This is good just on the rocks.
Yeah,
That's
well,
right.
that's the
Yeah.
thing. Like good rum, you don't need any mixers in any way, shape, or form.
No, but you know what? If you throw it in a in a glass of Coke, I'm not gonna
Mhm.
Eric,
gonna slap your hand.
Are you coming to FanFest?
Did I put my name on the list?
Was there a list?
I'm not watching the list all day long, you know.
There were 3 names. There were you, there was somebody else, and there was
4 in the
me.
morning. Yes, somebody else is coming.
So yeah,
So,
probably was 4 in the morning when I did it.
We've got a lot of people doing FanFest next year.
I am bringing a bottle of my favorite rum to FanFest.
I don't know if they'll let me bring it through customs. Who knows?
I mean,
They should do.
Yeah, so for me, it's I can bring 1 liter of heavy stuff.
They don't let us get on the plane with more than 3 ounces of liquid or something through TSA.
well, that's why you
Well,
buy
that's-
it at
that's-
the duty free.
Isn't that normally
if they
on in hand luggage? Like
if they have it in duty free.
Well,
that's
yeah,
the other
that's a fair
thing,
point.
right?
Well, are you going to Iceland without checked luggage? Because
Yeah, 'cause
I don't-
I'm sure you
I'm
could
not
put it in
checking
check
alcohol
luggage,
in
surely.
my-
Why not?
alcohol in my check. Are we doing shots? Did I pour this shot?
We are, yes. I was just giving some time for that so that
Oh,
like
good. Making
everybody's
sure.
like got their stuff. I didn't know the situation when it comes to Dirk. Have you sorted yourself a shot glass or something?
I've got myself a glass of Cardew here.
Ah, lovely. Okay.
Oh, this smells so good. Oh, I love this rum.
Right. Well,
I'm not like a rum connoisseur, but this is just wonderful. One of my buddies just got it, and I started drinking.
And anybody who's watching as well, if you wanna join us, please feel free to have one in Nom's memory.
Yeah.
We'll
To
miss him.
nominate.
I guess I should.
phenomenal.
I don't
somebody
normally
who said that it was a really nice rum. Coughing it back up is probably not what you want to be doing, but
Hey, Eric doesn't do a lot of shots.
Oh, then Eric, seriously,
What?
I'm gonna bring that rum. And you're gonna try it.
We'll be doing shots.
Neat, without
Oh.
anything.
Yeah. It's all good, brother.
It wasn't the smoothest whiskey, but it's a whiskey.
If I would have thought about it, I should have broken out the last of the Callan 18 for now. Do another one. I'll bring out the Macallan.
I mean, we're still here for more than an hour, so
Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
We're not even halfway through yet. Still got 10 minutes.
I know Seema, right?
Yeah.
He needs to rummage through his alcohol shelf to find something drinkable. I would have to rummage through it to find something that's not drinkable.
I do. You have to understand, Eric. Doesn't drink a ton of alcohol.
I don't do either. That's why I have so much just lying around. Because I tend to buy alcohol for Eve meets, and we've been doing a few lately, like smaller ones. And the thing is, alcohol is fairly cheap in Germany, so I tend to buy stuff for everyone and then bring it. And we never drink everything, right? So there's usually leftovers that I bring back to Germany.
I'm my alcohol consumption is very much positioned on the Friday of the week. I generally don't tend to drink pretty much at any other point other than Friday. Maybe some Saturday, like during the show, sort of thing. But other than that, yeah. So I've become a bit more of a lightweight, as it were, over the years. I feel like I feel like I can still take my alcohol compared to Dirk though. Although your penchant for buying alcohol, for the trip back to wherever you're going to be sleeping, it is I always find kind of hilarious.
Hey,
Like,
look, you don't want
why
to
do we need
sober up
one while
before you
we're
get
walking
there.
as well? But all right, whatever.
You don't want to sober up before you get there.
I mean, I guess, but just make sure that the journey from where you were to where you're going to is short enough that you don't need it.
Hey, I mean, yes, but also, if
Oh,
cocktail
but
bars could
you're-
actually be cocktail bars, that would be nice.
I was going to say, but also making sure that the place that you're going to actually exists helps. Yeah. Hopefully, we don't have issue with that in September. Like, I thought there was a bar here. There isn't one anymore.
I'm
Fuck.
pretty sure where we are going, we won't have an issue of there's no bar within walking distance.
Yeah, that shouldn't be an issue. Because we should be like,
Yeah.
oh, there's no bar here. Well, there's a bar next to it. Let's go to that one.
Although it was kind of funny in Berlin. We found a really nice cocktail bar. Like legitimately the best cocktails I've ever had. And the sad thing is, after we were there for an hour or two, they were like, guys, look, we usually don't serve this many people. How about you get one last drink and then look for a place that's more suited for this many people, right? Because we turned up with, I don't know, Doug, how many people? 20,
we stumbled
30?
in with 20, 25, something like that, yeah. We just rocked up.
Yeah.
And went, oh, here's a place for cocktails, this will do. And they did really well, to be fair. Give them, I have to give them their dues, right? Like, when we rocked up, they sort of took a look at it and went, we are not staffed for this. But they did their best for us for, like you say, a couple of hours. And then, yeah, it was that bit of, well, look, guys, we've been trying our best, but we can't keep up.
Yeah. Especially because more and more regulars were coming in, so they were really nice about it, though.
Oh yeah, super super polite as they were asking us to kind of move on. Nah, like
Like these were actual proper cocktails.
these are the sort of cocktails that you order one and it gets to you 5 minutes later. Because they are making them up really really solidly properly, and when 25 people are trying to order one of these cocktails at once, and all ordering different things. They did not have enough staff on that night to actually manage our group.
Yeah, it was literally 2 people.
Because I mean, I'm not suggesting we all have a problem or anything, but we put it away. When we go to these meets, we do end up putting it away.
Put it away. You drink a lot.
So
I'm pretty sure if we had called them like a week before and told them, hey, we're coming with like 25 people, they could have had more people on staff and it wouldn't have been an issue, right? Because the place was big enough for us. It was just, regular day, and all of a sudden there's 25 additional people on top of the regulars just coming into your bar.
And this was the sort of this was a Tuesday night, I think, if I remember rightly.
Could be. It was a weekday,
and not like one close to the weekend, really. So yeah.
kind of thinking you guys should have like ordered a picture of Pulse Fuel.
Man, we
And just like had like
look,
you know 2 or 3 of those for everybody.
we always have the fun of watching Dirk trying to order a Bloody Mary.
Of
The
course.
situations
Of
we've
course.
gotten into with Dirk ordering a Bloody Mary. After that cocktail bar, we went to a dive bar that was owned by the grandma of one of the goons with us.
It's the sort of German bar where you go in and you order like a beer, or you order like a whiskey or something.
Yeah,
You do not order cocktails or anything like that.
and most of all, she barely speaks English, right? So I'm there trying to translate a bit, and
Oh yeah, it's
he
this.
starts
Yeah, okay.
pulling out like all the things you need for a Bloody Mary, and is like, here, you can mix it yourself.
Literally goes back into like the staff canteen and comes out with a bottle of Tabasco.
Which is,
Yeah.
I would say is impressive that they randomly had that.
It's-
as well.
Incidentally,
they just kind of get lined up on the bar, and here you are.
it's also when the Americans with us found out that you can have cheap and good beer at the same time, and B, what Woodruff is, or Waldmeister as it's called in German.
Yeah, but it's a good shout that they, you know, that they.
I mean,
if you know how to make it right, like
continued, right?
it's a good thing.
When we were in Copenhagen, Turk was desperately trying to get an actual good Bloody Mary somewhere. And then we were in Belgrade earlier this year. And we went to this really fancy restaurant. And we had our meal and everything. Everything was nice. And then Dirk goes, "Hey, I know it's not on the menu, but can you make me a Bloody Mary?"
No, it was worse. It was worse than that, actually. When we were in the restaurant, we'd finished our meal, and we were kind of. It was about 10 o'clock, and we were going, all right, where do we go next? And I'm there going, well, I haven't had a Bloody Mary this trip yet. Where are we? Where are we going to go that we can get one of these? And the bar manager walks past the table as we're having this conversation, and then leans in and offers to make us one, with the caveat that he's not going to make it with vodka because he doesn't really think that vodka-based drinks are particularly great or interesting. So he's not going to do it with vodka. He's going to do it with gin.
Oh, I knew it was going to be gin because, you know, juniper and tomato juice go so well together.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be juniper in gin.
Well, I mean, it is actually called a red snapper if you make a Bloody Mary with gin instead of.
The funny
vodka.
thing is,
But,
that I mean,
yeah,
if
he leans in and he offers and basically says, "I heard what you were saying. Let me do something for you.
I'll make it, but I'll make it not with vodka because vodka is terrible. But I'll make it with a flavored vodka, which is what gin is.
Vodka is terrible. It's just
I find it funny when
We're gonna make it with a.
interesting,
we're gonna make it with
Just
gin
they were
instead. It's like, wait a second.
We'll make it with a nice vanilla vodka.
And we've just hit an ad break. So I'll wait until the end of the ad break to finish the story.
Okay.
But by the way, just because I'm annoyed at this, I am at the moment actually screen capping this, you know, ad break reminder and countdown to the point where there's no ad break, and then like random ad break appears after like a little period of time afterwards, just so I can send that to some like, you know, fucking member of
some
Twitch.
poor support Steve.
Just to go.
Member.
Yeah.
This is unacceptable. I'm sorry, it just is. Anyway,
Yeah, so
ad break over.
is done.
It's done.
The bar manager goes away, and he comes back about 10 minutes later, having walked past us at the table a couple of times. And we're there going, I mean, he said he was mixing us drinks, but where is he going? And it was kind of like an orangey cocktail rather than an actual red tomato juice kind of color.
Hmm.
And at this point, we are we are the last table in the restaurant. So he brings the drinks over, and we try them, and we go, "Oh wow, actually, wow."
It
He comes,
legit knew what he was, you know.
we wave him back
what he was
over to
doing.
the table, and you could see the kind of trepidation on his face of like,
Yeah, because
Like, I thought this was good, but am I wrong? Like, what the fuck?
why are these random
I
tourists
gotta-
waving me back to the table?
I gotta put in here that the table across from us, they were being difficult the whole evening, right?
So yeah, we wave him back over to the table, and he's kind of looking a little bit nervous. And we just ask him, "Look, dude, what is the recipe here?" And he gives us it. And it turns out that his back and forward past the table had been him trekking back to the kitchen to get some of the tomato sauce that they use for some of their dishes, that he then kind of diluted down a bit to make it into much more of a drinkable format. And yeah, they they basically had been stealing from the kitchen to make these drinks for us, but they were fantastic. Dude really did us a solid with that one.
Did you figure out what he actually did, or you know, was it?
Oh,
a
yeah,
case of, like, I'll keep.
He
keep it as a
told
phrase?
us.
We've got the
Oh,
entire
nice.
recipe somewhere. I've
Nice.
got it in a note on my phone.
That'd be an interesting thing to sort of to see if we can replicate it at some point.
Yeah, at some point I'm gonna have to try it. But yeah, so since we are just a little bit past the hour mark, probably worth noting that today is a bit of a sadder show. We're kind of just reminiscing about the community a bit, because we lost our friend Innominate to cancer earlier this week. He was a huge advocate of community and like making sure that people have a good time, that they are looked after, that they are, you know, so that they know that they are appreciated.
Yeah,
And
very much
so yeah, we're having a bit of a reminiscing day today.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, yeah, it's a bit of a reminiscing episode, bit of a sort of like a, you know, story time episode, sort of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Is it time for another shot?
Yeah, I think so.
All right then.
All right, I'm breaking out the good stuff.
Fair enough.
It is worth noting as well right now, and we'll cover it towards the end of this show as well, that next week, next Friday night, US time zone, we will be having the traditional Sino vigil for Innominate over in 1DQ.
Yeah.
That's going to be starting. Technically, it's starting from 00:30 Eve time. But I'm sure a number of us will be there.
When is that? When is that again, Dirk?
Friday the 16th.
So that's this coming Friday, right?
This coming Friday, 6 days from now. 00:30 Eve. So technically Saturday morning, but Friday night, US time zone.
I mean, you could probably expect it to start a lot earlier than that.
We're going to be there for a while, yeah. Obviously,
actually,
if you want to come and light a candle for Innominate, if your experience was touched in any way, shape, or form by him over the last 20 years,
if you're going to be coming there and you're initiative,
along.
Remember that, like, you know, we don't have access to the market because we're not in the Imperium anymore. So, you know, make sure you bring your LO and bring your ships with you. I found that out last night. We had a sort of like an impromptu sort of vigil, like last night sort of thing. and I didn't bring enough LO, thinking that I could buy some on the market, and I couldn't. So they had to. These guys had to drop me some LO so I could light it. So,
Yeah, that was fun.
thank you guys.
But yeah, everybody who is going to come along and light a candle is welcome from all areas of the game.
Yeah, and I imagine if you don't have any
of ships and LO available, there's been people importing them for the last couple of days and making sure that
I imagine, yeah,
will be there.
I imagine that if you can't access the market, like you can literally just, somebody from Goons will probably be able to hand you a ship with an indie signer so you can light it.
So yeah,
they can contract
next
it.
Friday,
I'm sure.
Come along, light a candle for our fallen friend.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, shots time.
Yeah,
That's time.
Shots time. All right. Innominate.
Innominate.
Whiskey.
Shots are getting easy now.
Better.
Yeah, you didn't have quite so much of a coughing fit with that one.
That was a little.
Well, I didn't. I mean,
it's a little.
Yeah.
It's a little smoothing.
Nice.
Thank you for the baby Innominates flying all over the place. Love that.
Cheers, Stablo.
I love
being an absolute.
comment.
He's being an absolute G.
By the way, people in the audience, we expect you to be doing this with us.
I'd like to think that everybody's doing it with us.
Yeah, everybody doing it. My glasses are driving me nuts. Oh, who almost died?
Well, that was just me, probably.
Somebody coughed.
I coughed, but like that wasn't down to the famous grouse.
Doing whiskey and chasing it with like coffee.
I mean, why are you doing it and chasing? Why don't you just do it like the Irish do and put them together?
Chase it with more whiskey.
I love Irish coffee, but I don't think I'm quite putting the Macallan in the coffee.
Oh, that's a bit of a waste.
No.
I'll go in the back and pull out the Jameson. Okay, you want me to do that?
Yeah.
I mean, Noms was a guy who drank Jameson at various points.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
It would be kind of fitting.
The Frisians actually do too, but we put rum in the coffee. And whipped cream on top.
There we go.
That's very important.
We're ready.
Oh yeah, I mean, when in Frisia, do what the Frisians do.
Of course.
which strangely enough, at least in my mind, is when you can add some kind of dairy product to something, add it.
I mean, we got lots of it.
Exactly. You're like, fuck, we've got too much. We need to figure out ways of using this up.
I mean, we literally invented those cows.
I would say no.
How do you?
I would say you decided to name that particular breed.
We bred them over many years.
Yeah, but that is not quite the same thing.
It's not inventing. That's just perfecting them.
Okay, yeah. Fair. What word would you use?
Perfecting them.
But
they were somewhat imperfect when and you thought, you know what? These could be a bit better if we did a bit of selective breeding. And they became a lot better. Yeah, there we go. What is an Irish car bomb?
It is. So it is pint glass, a little more than 50% Guinness.
Okay.
Right? Then you take a shot glass, and it's 50% Jameson and 50% Bailey's, and you drop it into the pint glass and chug it.
Ah, interesting. Okay.
I may or may not. I can't confirm. Have ended up with a 14-year-old daughter because there may have been a lot of Irish car bombs.
Whoa. How do you
What?
suddenly end up with a 14-year-old daughter due to an Irish car
I mean,
bomb?
14-year-old,
so-
after 14 years from that incident. Yes.
Yes, after
Suddenly-
14 years from that
It
incident.
It wasn't the
Eric's
next
just
day.
taking a 14-year-old home with him.
I think
no.
the Brits. I think the Brits here really need to stop talking about Irish car bombs.
That I'll tell you what, they are a
I mean,
wonderful tasting drink.
I wondered after asking that question whether is it actually a drink or is it just a means of protest?
No, it's actually a drink, and it's wonderful. And we would
can it not be both?
It can be both.
It is not a drink that Mrs. Erik would ever drink. And if you catch Mrs. Erik drinking them,
Probably because she knows the
that's-
consequences now.
now she knows the consequences. Yeah. It was a very high scoring playoff hockey game, Penguins versus the Capitals. About 14 years ago, 14 and a half years ago, maybe now at this point.
So hockey was also an aspect of this
There
situation.
may or may not have been vodka shots as well.
I have found that the worst flavor of vodka to attempt to do shots with is a lemon flavored vodka. That is like at it. You think that vodka can vodka's not exactly difficult to shot, but like if you're talking about what's more difficult to shot than regular vodka, I would say that lemon flavored vodka is probably more difficult to shot.
I have never had lemon flavored vodka.
You don't need to. You really don't need to. Nobody needs to. For some reason, they made it, and I thought that was a good idea at some point in my life to buy a bottle of it. But
vodka?
You don't need to do it in any way, shape, or form. So if you're ever experimenting, going, I wonder what different flavored vodkas would be like, you don't need to worry about the lemon flavored ones. Like, just park that and try the other ones.
Yeah, I'm staying with spiced rum instead of spiced vodka. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you don't like lemon drop shots, which is vodka, lemon juice, and sugar. So basically, it's
the sugar will help
vodka.
round that out. The sugar would help round that out. But like when you're getting the edge from like a bad vodka and the edge from lemon, like you do need something around it.
Okay.
But I've never had a lemon drop, so like I would not know.
I don't know that I've ever had a lemon drop either, but I'm like, I know of them. Yeah.
Okay.
Lemon slice chaser. No. Lemon slice chaser is
I've done tequila slammers.
Tequila.
Like, that's
good.
Tequila. I've done tequila slammers. They're great.
What's that? Lick, suck, drink? Lick, drink, suck.
Yep.
I forget which.
Lick, drink, suck. So salt, and then the shot, and then lemon. Or lime. Sorry, not lemon. Lime.
Lemon. It's lemon.
No, lime.
Or no, it is lime.
Lime.
It is lime.
Lime.
Okay, no lemon. Sorry, bad. We have to switch away from that.
Tequila, so it has to be lime.
That's just too involved. Like, come on.
But you can mix it up. You can. Well, there's ways and means of making that more entertaining. Let's put it that way. Depending on where you're licking the salt from.
Tequila. You hate the bartender, don't order a lemon drop. You never hate the bartender is the person
unless you're buying it for him.
Yeah, the bartender is the person you treat the best in any restaurant establishment. I don't know what you're talking about. I have a cadre of my favorite bartenders. The guy who doesn't drink says that, right? Isn't that stupid? But yes, I do. Okay.
Well, yes and no, because like I kind of feel like somebody who drinks really often doesn't really care too much because they're not really chasing the experience. They're not really chasing the enjoyment of getting there. They're just chasing getting there, right? Getting to the I'm fucking wasted stage, right? Whereas you're very much, you probably, when you do drink, you kind of want to enjoy getting to that experience, right? So you don't want to kind of have a bad experience with that from a bad bartender. So that makes sense that you'd have a preference for bartenders that mixes good fucking drinks.
Eric goes to the bar and will have like 3 or 4 beers over like 6 hours.
See, this is also one of the reasons why, I truth be told, I have no idea whether this was an actual like named drink prior to this, but when I introduced Eric to Stevie Wonder's,
I remember that day.
It is an enjoyable way to get drunk very quickly, and you figured that one out.
God.
Pretty much on stream at one point.
Oh yeah. I did a little on stream pre gaming. I'm like, this tastes really good. I like this. I add a little contro to it. To orange it up a little more.
That was kind of dangerous as well, because that's kind of like mixing it again. That's like
I think I drank 2, and I was just
you were away. You're away to the races there on that show. So if any of you don't know, like, at least, because you probably are maybe inclined to sort of go to Google and type in Stevie Wonder, alcoholic drink, right, and see what that is. Chances are you're going to get something completely different, because like at the time when I was drinking it, I had no idea whether this was that. Or, like, the only reason why it was called why I called it Stevie Wonder was because it would get you blind drunk pretty damn fast, right? And that's the only reason why I named it that. But essentially, all it was half a pint of cider, or as in America you'd call hard cider. We're not going into that. We're not going into that conversation. I'm just
notice I didn't say anything
like this straight away. I know, but like,
if a random site shows up, there'll be a problem.
I kind of feel like it's in the air, sort of as a possibility. Like, it's not a possibility. We're not talking about cider or hard cider,
No.
but either way, Stevie Wonder, half a pint of hard cider, whichever we want to say it. The rest topped up with basically what is a vodka orange drink of some way, shape, or form. Back in the day, it used to be a
I think you used like Sunny D. You liked it. I used orange juice.
Yeah, well, it was like I think it was like called a crush or something like that back in the day. But like, you can also get like you can get like vodka orange drinks of various
Orange
different forms,
crush
like,
would
orange,
be good.
Orange
Crush.
or something else like
Give
that.
it a little fizz.
Yeah, something of that form. But basically, like, you have vodka, but you also have hard cider as well, like in the same drink, right? And for whatever reason, that mixture of the two seems to be very much more the sum of its own parts. Like, and if you're Eric and you add Cointreau to that as well, it's just a little
Cointreau, just a little.
Just a little, a little Cointreau, but like, essentially what it is it's like a multiplier. I kind of think it's like a multiplier, right?
It's
like
a force. It's a force multiplier.
It's like a force multiplier.
That's a cheap module to throw on.
You don't need much to get you there when you're drinking something like that. So be forewarned. But it very much comes from my days, at uni and college, where didn't actually have that much money, but we wanted to sort of, get ourselves there, right?
Break in 14 seconds, or ends in 14 seconds.
Like, I mean, fucking what? What is with these fucking ad breaks, man?
It's so fucked.
I know. I hate these ad breaks. They fucking suck. Anyway,
this is like the fucking third
I'm just gonna say, I had 2 of McLeod's Stevie Wonder.
They're short.
2.
Yeah.
Okay. And I was so drunk, I couldn't go to dinner with my parents. I had to have my wife drive. I mean, I was like that drunk. I was like, honey, and by the way, she had to drive home after dinner. Like, no. No.
Well done.
I did
I mean,
warn you, but then again, I also didn't realize you'd also put Cointreau in it until like afterwards. I was like, oh Christ, okay.
Yeah, it just didn't seem like a drink that was that tough. But you're a hell of a mixologist, McLeod. That's all I'm gonna say. It was yummy.
I may have to introduce.
It worked.
I may have to introduce Soth and and Dirk to it at
We
in Prague.
could be. Oh yeah, you guys are going to Prague. I looked at that and I'm like, $2,000 round trip on the air. No, I'm not doing it. And I can't do 10 days. Like Dirk.
It's 7. Come on.
Whatever it was,
Yeah, if you were doing 10 days, you'd been like 3 days.
But I was
$100.
like, this is a cool spring. Oh, there's something in Prague. Oh, I would like to go to Prague. No. I don't have that much vacation.
Yeah, but
I got my big golf tournament coming up in a couple of weeks here.
But Eric, we can meet up in Iceland.
That's
Yeah,
right. We're
exactly.
doing Iceland
Exactly.
for sure.
Exactly.
Nate is asking if there's a meta show today. Yes, there is going to be a meta show today. Bit of a different format today. They're doing kind of an open forum memorial session, a little bit like what we've got going on here. This week's just all about our boy Noms, who touched so many people over the course of his life and made such a positive impact. He was really one of the good ones.
I mean, we were talking alcohol there, mate, but half the reason why we were talking alcohol there was because he was very much a socialite when it comes to when it came to the Eve community and and Goonswarm and Imperium as such, especially when it came to when it comes to meats and stuff. So but we're gonna have to try some stuff in Prague. Sure.
So how are the seats on Iceland Air? Anybody know?
Nope.
Apparently not bad. Iceland Air is apparently one of the not bad ones.
Oh, that's good.
Though, I mean, I am aware that at various... there was a story that I saw Merck telling one night this week about when there was a period where Merck and Brisk and Noms were all on the CSM at the same time. And I don't know if they were flying Iceland Air, but basically CCP pays for your flights to go out to Iceland if you're on the CSM for the summits, right? They get the CSM together in Iceland. They try and do like a business week of it. And then, get the CSM all in a room with bits and pieces of devs and ready to kind of go. And just kind of get all of the feedback in one place, do like an intense trip. And Merck was saying that he and Brisk had basically they'd upgraded to business class on their own dime, right?
Okay.
And so they're there in the back row, the very back row of business class. And Noms is there in the very front row of standard class, right behind them. And so, you know, they're having a chat, they're having a couple bits of drinks and in business class, and then they just see these bottles of champagne being taken, and this is a red-eye flight, apparently. So, you know, it's a late night, it's everybody else is trying to bloody sleep.
Mhm.
And apparently, Noms is just like ordering these bottles of champagne for him and the people that he's made friends with in his row.
Oh, that's fantastic. That is
That's
so-
awesome.
And eventually the stewards have to come along and be like, "Hey, look, dude, could you keep it down a little bit? People are trying to sleep." Well, he's just got this he's just drinking this champagne with the people he sat with, and they're in front of him going, "What the fuck is going on?" And I just thought that was such a beautiful story.
I can imagine them actually, like, you know, stewards coming through, like, down the aisle kind of thing in business class. Like, oh, champagne, that's kind of cool. And then, like, straight past them, like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wait, that's not for us? What?
Now, was he buying it by the bottle or by the glass?
Oh, he's buying like bottles, and I mean,
Okay.
it's an
I've never
it's
bought
an
a
airline,
whole-
right? So I'm assuming these are the small bottles rather than
Oh
a
yeah,
full,
who knows?
like
I don't know.
750 ml bottle.
Well, chances are
Like-
they probably bought the bottle and the you know, the steward, the you know, stewards are kind of topping them up every so often, right? Probably.
All right, I don't know, but yeah, just that bit of like
It's-
he's just there buying drinks
I
for
can
people
imagine
and
that
having a
as well.
chat on the plane. Yeah,
Oh, classic.
but
Like
it's
Billy
just
Idol,
one of
the
those,
wedding
like,
singer, yeah.
hilarious fucking.
I'm so
Yeah,
boring
just
even
the
when I
funniest
fly.
thing.
Even if I fly first class, I don't drink. I'm so sad. Or it's free.
Just yeah. I always get that kind of, I mean, you know, of the few flights that I've taken, I've always been sort of like, you know, like, oh, I don't want to be one of those, like, you know, super loud, like completely wasted dudes, as it were. But, you know, that's I don't see a nominate being like that. Like I see a nominate like, yeah, having a good laugh and stuff. But like
Oh yeah, yeah.
I guess there's slightly different when it's what was it, red eye flight you refer to it as?
Yeah,
When,
because
like,
any
people are
noise.
actually actively trying to sleep kind of thing. I've never been on one of those flights, so yeah.
Oh yeah. So I mean, he, you know,
But
what is it? Most of the
I like-
Iceland flights
I-
fly out of
I like to
Boston.
not-
So
I like to not actually like play up to the whole wasted, you know, Brit on holiday kind of thing. Because well,
I didn't
we'll
think
we'll see in September, but whatever.
we'll see you in September.
Yeah, for flights that are like a couple of hours, I'll sit there with like a glass of wine or a beer or two, and just like
Mhm.
have my book and my music, and
Yeah.
I will not talk to anybody. You will not hear a peep out of me, apart from to order another drink. But I will have a drink while I'm doing it.
I can imagine
So
him
you-
sitting next to you.
I can't.
and then-
I can't really like say anything about that. I've been on a plane exactly twice to Belgrade and back, and it was a 1-hour flight. So yeah.
I can imagine being like next to you on a flight, Dirk, and you basically asking them, "Hey, do you do Bloody Marys by any chance?"
No.
And me just kind of going,
They
"Say no,
do.
say no, say no, say no."
So there's there is a thing on most flights where they will sell you a measure of vodka, and they will sell you one of those like big Tom
pre-mixed, like mixer things.
pre-spice
Yeah.
mixed
Yeah.
tomato juices, and they're a bit shit. And I'm sort of not there for
I
that
tried
kind of thing.
I tried a
So,
Fever
yeah, no,
Tree
it'll just be
Mojito,
a
one of
glass
those.
of wine or a beer or something.
I tried a Fever Tree Mojito, one of those, and you know, Fever Tree's not exactly shit. You know, they do good mixes, but like I don't know who I don't know who said, yes, that's definitely the one when it came to the mojito mix that they make.
Mhm.
It's really fucking not good. I mean, if you like your mojito mix like medicated, like almost medicated levels of mint, right? Then yeah, you'll probably like it. But if you actually like actual decent mojitos, then you're gonna fucking hate it.
Mac, overdoing it on the mint is the most British thing ever.
Well, good job I wasn't born in Britain, I guess.
Yeah. That's probably why you don't like it.
And I'm glad.
You didn't grow up with mint sauce on meat.
I mean,
no, actually, to be fair.
that's just what you do with
But
that.
No,
But
that's not what you do.
You don't have to do it like that. Like,
mint is supposed to be for
You
sweet
don't have
things.
to do it, but
But the thing with mint sauce is you can determine exactly how much you put on it. Whereas if you've got a mixed, mojito,
exactly.
you can't really choose. Like,
True.
So like,
you either like
yeah.
it or you don't. And for the Fever Tree stuff, I really don't like their version. But I do know how to make them like really well. So maybe I'll make one for you guys. You're bringing rum, so
There will be all sorts of drinks available. Though I have just seen that apparently in Czech cities, there's a bit of a frowning on public drinking outside of establishments. So none of that turn up in a park and kind of mix a drink kind of thing.
None of the buying a bottle and then walking around drinking it.
I mean,
it's
Don't look at me like that. The Germans do it too.
I want to point out in Copenhagen, we sat down at a pizzeria, and
Oh God.
some autocrat that I'm not gonna name was mixing gin tonics under the table.
Was that maybe because the establishment didn't,
The
idea of you mixing your own alcohol?
Well, the establishment
that wasn't bought on the establishment.
You don't do bits like that in an establishment unless you are
an autocrat.
One of these unnamed autocrats.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, in when we were in Copenhagen, we were on various days just walking around with a cooler full of like booze. So you needed to get drunk one way or another.
Exactly. Otherwise, what was the point of even bringing it?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I will say we possibly could have brought a little less mead.
Just
yeah, because you randomly brought mead as well. Yeah,
randomly,
dude,
like
the
18 bottles.
It was an accident.
Okay. Well, it
was an accident. He didn't mean to bring it.
I accidentally brought 18 bottles of mead. Like
these weren't small bottles either, right?
No, they were
these are
1 liter bottles.
Jesus Christ!
But yeah, the Germans drove over the border with a boot full of booze.
I actually looked up what the legal limit is, and we were close to it.
I thought for a minute maybe you were going to say we were way over.
No, we weren't over because here's the fun part. The legal limit is 10 liters of spirits per person in the car.
How many were in the car?
You just have to be sure when you get stopped that everyone in the car knows what their spirits are.
Oh, right, okay. What's your spirits? Mead bottle 1 through 10.
That's
What's your
exactly
spirits?
10
Mead
liters.
bottles
It is.
11 through 20.
They're hand numbered.
That's the efficiency that I would imagine how that would play out.
I mean, we were 2 Germans in the car, so of course. But
yeah.
I mean, there's usually no border checks between Germany and Denmark.
Oh, you may get that random spot check once in a while, I guess.
I mean, I didn't cross the border like anywhere major, right? I live at the border. I just crossed over right next to where I live.
Oh, all right, fair enough. That makes sense.
Like I picked Wooly up from the train, and then we just drove over the next border stop.
I will.
Isn't really there. It's not like your normal border, right? It's just
Right.
it's just a regular road, and all of a sudden you're in Denmark.
Oh yes. I experienced that, but from the UK into Wales during a really bad winter when we had a lot of snow, and it was fucking hilarious because I was going to my brother's wedding, which was fantastic, super beautiful, very scenic. How you would imagine a beautiful countryside in Wales would be, with snow and everything like that, right? Coming back though, roads in Wales, lovely and clear. They know how to fucking deal with snow clearly in Wales, right? Soon as we got into the UK, fucking desolation. Just absolute desolation, to the point where there were abandoned cars on the side of the motorway, like that level. But there weren't any checks or borders or anything of that form because it's just you're going from England to Wales, right? So it's just the same road, but it's just like pretty much almost as soon as you're getting into England, it starts to just deteriorate.
I mean,
So
I'm laughing, but I had this back when I was still living in Hamburg. I was driving to my parents, and it was snowing like hell. Right. I had already seen like 20 cars by the wayside. Some of them on the roofs. And I'm just driving on the Autobahn, and if you know the Autobahn, it's usually a straight road, right? And I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden, I wasn't going straight on. I was turning.
Oh fuck!
Right? I did a 180.
Good.
Came back straight, and then was like, "Yep, you are driving a lot slower now."
Yeah, it would definitely make me drive a hell of a lot slower. Jesus Christ!
Jeez.
Was that ice or was that were you aquaplaning?
I don't know. Like all of a sudden, my car was just like, "Yep, we're turning now."
Fucking hell! That's some frightening shit right there.
Yeah. Hey, I wanna revisit Soth. What was it, Soth? What was it? Like 10 liters per person going across the
10 liters of booze,
yeah.
and then 110 liters of beer or wine.
So and what was it? Starscream. Starscream, are you in the US? Do you know what can of worms you opened with your liters in the US? Because we make it really hard. So, like, this is a typical American spirits bottle, okay?
Did you actually
hold it. No, I'm gonna make this really hard. This is called a fifth, okay, because it's a fifth of a U.S. gallon, but it also says it's 750 milliliters, okay? So it's 700.
Okay.
So imagine trying to get the American version of this across the border, and you'd calculate the bottles by 750 rather than just 10. That would be hard.
I mean, it's
or potentially going the other way and having too much
Yeah.
and being like, wait, but no, this is the liters, right? It's like,
yeah.
yeah, metric liters, not imperial liters. What?
Yeah.
The thing about that is that the thing about that is that most of our spirit bottles over here in Europe are 700 milliliters.
yeah.
So pound for pound, we get more milliliters than you do in America. That's awesome.
Yeah, because you named it the same thing when it's a different thing.
I know.
You don't
I
get
want-
to claim that as a win. Like,
I
that's just-
I would not be surprised
just
if
false
it's
reporting.
actually 700 milliliters, and it's the exact same bottle. It's filled to the exact same, amount. And,
We're gonna-
they are just cheating a bit.
Probably. We've got this bottle is 750. They're all like a fifth. Every bottle, like every shape and weirdness. But we do record things in
I did wonder
milliliters as well
why-
here.
I did wonder what the whole fifth of a fifth of bourbon or whatever, right? I always
Yeah.
kind of, in my mind, I was like, that's weird, but
Yeah.
never really kind of decided to go down the let's Google that route, right?
Well, I just explained it. There you go.
Nice, thank you, dude.
You're welcome. Anytime, anything I can do to help.
Now I'm wondering though, do you actually have legal limits to how much alcohol you can bring over state borders?
0.
You cannot bring alcohol over state borders in the US.
Dude, that's bootlegging, man. That's like, you ever watch Dukes of Hazzard? They bootleg.
And the only reason why that's bootlegging
What?
was that because there were slightly different laws in different states based on whether booze was illegal, like back in the days when it was illegal.
No, it's
Yeah.
it's a tax thing.
Oh, it's a tax.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Also prohibition, but yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I meant, like
Because-
prohibition.
Because
That was
taxes
from
are different
Canada.
between states.
No,
okay.
no.
Which is why we have legal limits here within Schengen, right? It's just that the limit is a bit bigger than 0.
Yeah, it's a state by state thing, but generally, I mean, if you go on vacation and you buy some alcohol there and you bring a bottle or something back, yeah, nobody cares, right? There are a few states that care, but most states.
Oh yeah, I'm not talking about it actually being enforced. I'm talking about the actual laws.
No,
Right.
well, in
If-
general, personal consumption, you can do it if you're, taking 50 cases back, which is an actual true story because Pennsylvania is a very heavily alcohol taxed state, and if you went to Maryland, just to the south of the Mason-Dixon line, and it was a lot cheaper. It was like a big thing to do, right? So, back many, many, many years ago, my dad might have been a salesman that traveled across the border, and his entire office might have had him buy a whole bunch of alcohol, so much that the back end of his car was riding like this, and the state troopers thought about pulling him over, but when they found it was a company car, they figured, oh, he must just have a bunch of bottles of Listerine or something in the back. That's not it.
Yeah,
And it was
So-
alcohol.
what
It
it
was
is.
alcohol.
So yeah, I have to clear up here. We don't have checkpoints either, right? We have Danish people coming over here because the alcohol is cheaper here. Literally with a trailer that they fill up with beer and booze.
I mean, I think to some degree when the UK was part of the European Union, RIP, but we used to, as Brits, we used to do that into France and then back to the UK.
It is though. you know, I work for a logistics company, and one of our big customers is a beer company, and we do drive that beer over to Denmark. And you know how I said 110 liters is the limit for beer? Yeah, you get a bit more than 110 liters on a semi-truck.
Oh, yeah, you definitely would.
Right. And so usually we need to have something called a CMR that we need to fill out. So it's all above board. But sometimes, because we are so close to the Danish border, like literally a few kilometers from the Danish border is where the company is. So because we're so close, we would sometimes send a truck over to workshop, right? Oh, there's a light broken. Our workshop, they got too much to do, or the guy's sick or whatever. Just send it over to Denmark to a workshop, right? And you would usually not empty the trailer because he's supposed to keep going after that. So technically, it's illegal because it's full of beer. So technically, we are importing 24 tons of beer into Denmark and then re-importing it into Germany.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Slap a tariff on that shit so fast, make your head.
But
By the
yeah,
way, by the
it's
way.
not like there's someone standing at the border, like checking, right?
Right. I am
Asking
looking
you for
at
your
the
papers.
I'm looking at the
Papers.
clock. Going.
Yeah, we are
Probably wanna
down
finish
in
on time
Yeah.
to make sure that people can get to the fireside.
Yep.
Asher pinged earlier that today is going to be a huge one.
Mm-hmm.
A huge one.
We should probably
Let's-
give people 5 minutes to get to
Yeah.
get there early as such.
So
As
let's
it were.
do our one last thing.
I guess we should. Yeah.
Who wants to start?
I mean, I'm doing the usual of just going, from top from the top of the channel to the bottom, as it were. Doug,
Yeah, no.
anything that you wanted to say, or or
I got
anything
nothing
we
extra.
haven't covered?
I've got nothing extra this week. I'm just going to say that we'll miss Noms and we'll see him again on the other side.
Yeah, very much so. Eric?
I'll kind of echo Dirk's comments, and whoever wants to go to FanFest in Iceland, see y'all there.
Mm-hmm.
We go.
Awesome. Yeah. Soth.
You know what? I got a bit of rum left, so one last time to Innominate.
Yep. I like that. I like that idea.
Hold it. Got to get the Jameson. All right. Good stuff.
Right.
All right.
To Nom Noms.
Already did it.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I'm sorry. Poured and went. Bam. All right, brothers. Well, hey, thank you everybody for joining us for the show. We will see everybody again next week too, right?
Yes. Just wanted to quickly say that if you don't know already and didn't get it in chat, yes, there is a meta show. It will be here in 70 or 68 minutes time on this same bat channel.
69 on my clock.
Ooh,
Nice.
Yeah, naughty.
Yeah, so check that out. Obviously, the official Sino Vigil. If you don't know this already, the official Sino Vigil for Nom is this coming Friday. So it's not going to be this weekend, but it's going to be the next Friday
16th.
from now, the 16th. Is it just after Friday? Is it Friday?
Technically, it's very early Saturday morning Eve time.
Oh,
It's
okay, okay.
00:30 Eve, but it is Friday night USTV.
Yeah.
So
Because Goon's
Yeah.
in US time zone. Yeah,
um,
that's understandable. So Friday / Saturday 0030 Eve time. In 1DQ Keepstar. Yeah. If you bring bring signership, bring fuel, enjoy the time. If you don't have access to the market, then just ask people in local, and I'm sure someone will be kind enough to be able to give you a ship and some signer
Yep.
fuel.
if you want to come and light a candle from anywhere around the game, you will be more than welcome. Yeah, as ever, the rules of war will be temporarily suspended for everybody to come and pay their respects, share their stories. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you fancy doing your bit at least a little bit in the fight against cancer kind of thing, the Project Discovery stuff is all about cancer screening and cancer diagnosis. So, which is kind of fitting in actual fact. So, if you're interested in being a part of a small cog in fighting that good fight, then try out the Eve Project Discovery stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Is the only other kind of thing that I have. Yeah.
Fuck cancer.
All right.
Yeah, fuck cancer.
I'm
Fuck
gonna,
cancer.
fuck cancer, and I'm gonna send everybody off with the intro we ran for those who didn't see it. So if you want to see it one more time, throw it out there. Thanks, gents,
Hell yeah.
for another great show.